another nice and challenging question, question number 12, based upon special equations. So you have a 4-digit number ABCD. Sum of digits in thousand, hundreds, and tens places is 14, ABC. Sum of digits in 110 units BCD is 15, and the tens place, that C, is 4 more than units place, that is D. Find the highest possible 4-digit number satisfying the conditions. Highest possible number will be when A is very large. A has to be very, very large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract these two equations because variables बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं. You have so many variables. How can you think? These two equations have two variables common, B and C. So let me subtract. So D minus A becomes 15 minus 14, that is 1. And now if A has to be maximum, then D has to be maximum, right? So what is the largest value that I can give to D? Obviously 9. So A will become 8. So let me substitute D9 over here. So C turns out to be 13, but that's not possible because this is a digit. So D maximum cannot be 9. Over here D maximum can only, I have to maximize A and maximize D, therefore D maximum 9 नहीं हो सकता because C 13 दे रहा है. 13 not possible. C maximum is now 9. So D maximum becomes 9 minus 4, that is 5. And if D is 5, then A becomes 4, so that 5 minus 4 is 1. Now this is working and I can find out my last digit. A is 4, C is 9 as we have already calculated, and total sum of these three digits is 14. So B आपका 1 आ जाएगा. You have all the digits now. Your number ABCD becomes A is 4, B is 1, C is 9, and D is 5. The answer is 4195 for question number 12. This is a fairly tough question when you have to find the range of this particular function. So we'll do some hanky-panky to solve this. But you can observe that the numerator is also present within the denominator, right? If I write x square plus 2x plus 4, denominator can now be written as twice of x square plus 2x plus 4 and then plus 1. ठीक है, numerator को k लिख देते हैं. So denominator becomes 2k plus 1. ठीक है. Look at the upper limit. Upper limit is 8 by 9 and half. So 2k plus 1 का half क्या होगा? K plus half. Half of 2k plus 1 will be k plus half, but I have only k. That means that this value is definitely less than half. If it is less than half, then option A and B are now gone. Okay? Now we can just do some hit and trial over here. F of 0 is equal to 4 upon 9, which you had present in the first two options. If I try f of minus 1, if you calculate 4 minus 2 plus 1 is 3, 9 minus 4 plus 2 is 7. 3 by 7 has to be part of the answer, so therefore C part is the right answer for this question. Right, basic question on averages. In a football tournament, a player has played a certain number of matches, let's say n matches, and 10 more matches are to be played. If he scores a total of 1 goal over the next 10 matches, his overall average will be 0.15 goals per match. So let's write down our equation. 0.15 goals per match into how many matches? Pehle n, later 10 more, is equal to how many goals has he scored? Let's say that in the first n matches he has scored G goals, and after that how many more goals did he score? 1 more plus 1, that's equation 1. Okay. On the other hand, if he scores a total of 2 goals over the next 10 matches, his average will be 0.2 goals per match. So let's write 0.2 over here. Over the next 10 matches, that's n plus 10. And 2 goals over the next 10 matches, so G ke jagah G plus 2 aa jayega. That is your second equation. Number of matches he has played is, you have to find n. So just subtract these two equations, n aa jayega aapka. Subtract, G cancel. 2 minus 1 is 1. N plus 10 common. And you get 0.05 into n plus 10. Okay? 0.05 becomes upon 20. Cross multiply, you get n is equal to 10 is the right answer for question number 14. Alright, this is a nice algebra question. For all possible integers n satisfying this equation, number of integral values of 3 plus 3 power n plus 1 is. Jisme se 3 is already an integer, right? So we'll focus on this or given equation. Let's subtract 2 on all the sides first. So you get 0.25 is less than equal to 2 power n plus 2 is less than equal to 200. And I need it in powers of 2 because n is an integer. So 0.25 is basically 1 by 4, which is 2 power minus 2, and less than equal to 200. So 200 से 100 से nearest 2 का power is what? Is 128, which is 2 power 7. So now you equate all of the powers. Minus 2 is less than equal to n plus 2 is less than equal to 7. So you get, and subtract 2 on both sides. Minus 4 is less than equal to n is less than equal to 5. ठीक है? So 3 plus 3 power n plus 1 में let us now substitute all of the values for n plus 1. n plus 1 का क्या जाएगा? Minus 4 plus 1 minus 3 से लेके 5 plus 1 6 तक जाएगा. So I write them all out. And out of these, which are the integers? 3 power, which are the integers? From 0 to 6. 3 power 0 to 3 power 6 are all the integers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the ones that we have to count. So your answer is 7 for question number 15. And this was a nice question. Question on graphs, and definitely should have been done in the exam, where you have a certain function on the LHS. Question is asking, when is LHS going to be equal to 20, for what range values? So either you can do hit and trial from the options, but that might be a little time consuming. So we will just plot this function approximately. ठीक है? LHS को हम plot करेंगे. Critical points are 3x minus 20 equal to 0. So 20 upon 3 and 40 upon 3. ठीक है? We are plotting this LHS, and let's find the LHS function value at 20 upon 3. 20 upon 3 डालिए, you'll get 20 minus 40, 20 as the value. Then calculate 40 upon 3 pay value, that also turns out to be 20. And then we'll just take some value on the left or right side, 0 being the easiest. What is f of 0 now? 20 plus 40, 60 आ जाएगा. ठीक है? So we'll just write this down neatly. 6 2 by 3 and of course 13 1 by 3. इसको plot करो. ये 20 20 and left side पे f of 0 पे 60. I have the approximate graph now. This is what the graph looks like. So when is it 20? From 6 2 by 3 to 13 1 by 3. So choose among the options. For example, D part में 14 तक नहीं जाएगा, C part में 15 तक नहीं जाएगा. So therefore B part has to be the right answer for this particular question. Alright, this is from geometry. It involves a trapezium. So let's make a trapezium. Sides AB and CD are parallel. AB is the smaller side, A, B, C, D. P is the midpoint of CD, so we'll make a midpoint. And ABPD is a parallelogram. Parallelogram means opposite sides are equal and parallel. And triangle BPC. So if the difference between areas, so ये दोनों parallel हो गए. If the difference between areas of parallelogram ABPD and triangle BPC is 10, so let me call these sides A. AB A है तो DP A हो जाएगा. PC is also A because P is the midpoint. ये P midpoint आ गया. And let me draw an altitude over here. Height बना देते हैं. Obviously the height of the parallelogram and the triangle are the same. So now you have to find out the area of the trapezium. Half into sum of parallel sides A plus 2A is 3A into height H. Difference between parallelogram and triangle. Parallelogram का area will be side into height AH minus triangle half AH is 10. ठीक है? So AH upon 2 is now 10. And 3h upon 2 becomes 30. 30 is the right answer, and this was a very, very doable question. Simple and doable question from SICI, but the comprehension in a pressure situation makes it a little challenging. Raj invested 10,000 in a fund. At the end of the first year, he incurred a loss, but his balance was more than 5,000. Okay, that means 50% loss nahi hua hai. This balance, when invested for another year, grew. And the percentage of growth in the second year was 5 times the percentage of loss in the first year. So we'll just write down 10,000 rupees. But there was a loss in the first year minus L%. And then there was a profit. So plus, and then 5 times the loss, 5L%. If the gain of Raj from the initial investment was 35%, then what's the percentage of loss? 35% means 13500 ho jayega. Overall 35% is the gain. So you can directly use successive percentage change ka formula And if you use that formula, you'll get a quadratic and you'll solve it. A faster approach is going to be to use the options, and the easiest option to try right now is 10. If 10 does not work out, I'll try something else. So minus 10 plus 5 into 10, 50, minus 10 into 50 is 500 upon 100. If you solve this, you get 35% as the answer. So C part becomes the right answer, and this was doable. Another question in algebra, quadratic equations using the properties of quadratics. Suppose one of the roots of this equation is 2 plus root 3, where a, b and c are rational numbers. जैसे ही rational numbers बोला, now we know that if one of the roots is 2 plus root 3, the other has to be 2 minus root 3. So the roots are 2 plus minus root 3. Okay? And then we are given b equal to c cube. B and c are connected through sum and product of roots. So we'll find sum and product of roots. Sum of roots for this equation, minus of minus b by a becomes b by a. Add the roots, 2 plus 2, 4 aa jayega. So b is equal to 4a. And let's calculate product of roots, c upon a. 2 plus root 3 into 2 minus root 3, that's 2 square minus 3, 4 minus 3, 1 aa gaya. So c is equal to a. Now we substitute b equal to c cube ke andar. B is 4a, c cube is a cube, a cancel, a square because a cannot be 0 given in the question. A square is 4, a is plus minus 2, so mod a becomes 2, mod a nikalna tha. Mod a becomes 2 and the answer is a part. This was a doable question. आप इसको कर सकते थे एग्जाम में. Lovely question on sequence and series, and historically, as we have seen, sequence series questions are generally a little lengthy. So you have sum of terms for a sequence of numbers, alternate addition subtraction हो रहा है. x1 minus x2 plus x3 minus x4 जितनी भी terms हो, n terms is equal to n square plus 2n. They want us to find out sum of 49th and 50th term. So let's calculate this sequence minus x2 plus x3 jitni bhi terms ho. We are observing that the odd terms are being added and the even terms are being subtracted. It's n square plus 2n. So what is this sequence up to 50 terms? N equal to 50 dalo. 50 square plus 2 into 50. This turns out to be 2600. What is it for 49 terms? 49 dal do. 49 square plus 2 into 49. This turns out to be 2499. And we know that the even terms are getting subtracted. So sequence up till 49 terms minus the 50th term, which is an even term, turns out to be S50. Okay? Put in the values. From here you will get the 50th term. 50th term obviously turns out to be minus 101. Similarly, let us find out the 48th term. 48 dal do. N equal to 48. This turns out to be 2400. And now I'll take the 48th and 49th. Minus plus the 49th term. Odd terms are getting added. So you get S49. From here you will get the 49th term. ठीक है. 48 terms, 2400 plus 49th term is 2499. So the 49th term turns out to be 99. ठीक है. So 50th term is minus 101. 49th term is 99. They want us to add these two. As soon as you add 99 and minus 101, you get minus 2 as the answer. And that's question number 20. This was a little lengthy. You would have done well to actually just let it be, leave it alone in the exam. Yeah. Standard time and work question. There are two pipes A and B attached to an empty water tank. Rate of work, small a and small b we will take. Pipe A fills and pipe B empties. If pipe A is opened at 2 and pipe B is opened at 3, tank becomes full at 10 p.m. Tank becomes full means that let's say that the work done is W. A is working from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, that is 8 hours, so 8 is the work done. B is draining. Draining means minus sign from 3 to 10, that's 7 hours, so 7B, and the work has been done. Instead, if A is opened at 2 and B is opened at 4, tank is filled by 6. So 2 to 6 means 4 hours. 4 hours filling and 4 to 6, 2 hours emptying. Okay? Yeah, this is the work done. When you conjoin them, you basically get 4a is equal to 5b. That is an equation. If pipe B is not opened at all, when will the tank be full? So work done W upon rate of work A निकालना है. So take any of the equations for W. Let's take 4a minus 2b because I have the value of 4a upon A निकालना है. Done. 4a की जगह 5b रखो and A is 5b upon 4. Solve, you get 12 upon 4, 5 hours. Hours 2 minutes, multiply by 60, you get 144 as the right answer. Answer is C part. This is a question from percentage, profit and loss. So just make your equations over here. Person buys tea of different qualities per rate, per kg 800, 500, 300. Amounts bought are in the proportion 2:3:5. So we'll take 2k, 3k and 5k. She mixes the tea. Let's mix the tea. 800 for 2k, 500 for 3k and 300 for 5k. So total cost price turns out to be 4600k and the total weight purchased so far is 2k, 3k, 5k. That's 10k kg has been purchased. Okay, now we sell. She mixes all the tea. She sells 1/6 for 700, 700 for 1/6 of 10k. And remaining, how much should she sell? At how much? Let's say price P, remaining 10k ka 5/6. 1/6 is gone, 5/6 you have to sell. To get overall profit, 50% profit is CP plus profit. 4600 is the CP, 4600k. Profit is 50%, that's 2300k. That's 6900k. And 10k gets cancelled over here, cross multiply by 6. Get 4140 and you get P as 688 as your answer. The answer is B part. You could have, should have done this in the exam. It was manageable. All right, let's come to the analysis and cutoff discussion for CAT 2021 Quant Slot 2. This paper was very different from Slot 1 because Slot 1 was even heavier on arithmetic with 12 questions in arithmetic. And this had 10 questions, although the questions were doable, but the other questions from the other sections were tough. Algebra, geometry, etc. were a little tough. Numbers, again, there was no representation. So that is why the cutoff for 99.5 and for everything else dropped down. 42 marks would have been gotten with 14 correct questions, and 14 correct in 40 minutes would be a huge challenge. So obviously that's why very few people were able to do that. 36, 37 marks was 12 correct questions for 99 percentile. 33 marks, 11 correct questions was for 98 percentile. And just to clear cutoff, I mean, you had to do like 6 correct questions. Cutoff to clear ho jaye. And so I want to show you all question wise what were the absolutely easiest questions in this particular paper. One was definitely a challenging question from PNC. 2 was standard properties of log, so इसको आप कर सकते थे. 3 again algebra strike नहीं होता, that इनको add करना है. 4th was a direct formula replacement by dilution from averages. 5th was a little tough because of the comprehension. I mean, overall the calculation was very easy, but in a pressure situation to be able to understand what is going on would have been a little tough. Standard time and work question, doable. 7th standard percentages question, very much doable. After that, this was a tough arithmetic question from partnerships, tough geometry question because it was geometry plus algebra. This was algebra and AP, so mixed together. This was question number 10, algebra and AP. Yeah, so this was, I will not be including this. 2 concepts mixed together. Question 11 was a direct formula. इसको आप कर सकते थे. This kind of question might have been done in class also. 12th was again a little challenging. Too many equations given. 13th was of course tough. ये तो depends on your luck, how you were thinking over there. 14th was direct arithmetic. 15 was tough from indices. 16th was direct. Yeah, this is a basic question of modulus. 17th was basic question of geometry. 18th was basic question of percentages. Successive percentage से कर सकते थे either by quadratic or by using the options. 19th was a little tricky because you might not have remembered that the roots have to be conjugates. 20th was tough and lengthy, as you know. 21st was direct. Time and work के दो question आए, दोनों बहुत आसान. And 22nd was also a little time consuming, maybe, but very much doable. So if I have to note down the really, really easy questions of this paper, which anybody could have done, would be 2, 4, 6, 7, 11. Of course, your order would have been a little different. 14, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22. If a genie had come and you could have chosen these questions directly, then आपके कितने हो गए? 5, 8, 11 questions बन जाते to take you directly to 98 percentile. But obviously, it is not as easy as it looks, right? Because in the paper, you have to read each and every question, and you will not be able to anticipate the difficulty level unless you are a very, very good student. So, कहना कोई ये आसान, yeah, it's not as straightforward as it looks, but yes, there were 11 really, really easy questions in this paper. The arithmetic was a little heavy. थोड़े से moderate लगा लो, and very, very difficult question तो maybe एक दो ही थे. So 11 very easy and maybe 10 very, very moderate level questions. So that is the analysis of the paper. If you have any questions or comments to make, please go to the comment section and I'll go through your queries. That's all. Until next time, thank you. Good evening.